Borderlands 4 is one of the most anticipated games in recent years, with fans like myself eagerly waiting its release. But as we wait for more news about the game, one question that keeps coming up is, what is more important for Borderlands 4's success, the story or the in-game content? Borderlands is known for its unique storytelling with memorable characters and a rich and diverse universe. The story has always been a significant part of the series, and it's played a crucial role in immersing players in the game world. The story is what keeps players engaged and motivated to explore the world, defeat bosses, and then progress through the game's missions. But sometimes that story has gotten in its own way as well. Eden 6 on Borderlands 3 just seems to take forever to complete. And don't get me started about talking to Lilith after nearly every mission. But even Borderlands 2 has those moments, although it's less pronounced. Driving across Iridium Blight to get to the bridge that goes up, forcing you to drive back across the map to go to the door to Sawtooth Cauldron just to run up through there, go up the elevator, shoot buzzards, then drive back across Iridium Blight to cross the bridge. It's something. No question, Borderlands 3 has absolutely more filler than all the other games possibly combined when you factor in the 2 drive across map missions as well. On the other hand, in-game content is essential for the longevity of the game. Players spend hours exploring the game world, collecting loot, leveling up, and the in-game content provides them with a sense of accomplishment and a reason to keep playing. It's the in-game content that keeps players coming back to the game even after they've completed the main story. It's the reason we hone our builds and hunt for rare gear. It's the ultimate replayability. Borderlands 2 really set the bar high with the raid boss system that they put in place. 2 raid bosses at launch, 8 more total from DLC content, plus slaughter maps and fun but short headhunter content. Borderlands 3 gave us a new in-game activity called takedowns, basically long-form raids closer in line with how Destiny handles raids, but not nearly as in-depth and not requiring multiplayer to do it. But the raid bosses are only a fraction of the in-game content. One of the things that Borderlands 2 absolutely nailed was the hunt for rare loot by way of pearlescent, seraph, and effervescent rarities. Loot that was harder to obtain than legendary loot, which was already pretty rough to get in Borderlands 2, but the problem Borderlands 2 never addressed was balancing some of those things at endgame. And to me, this was one of Borderlands 3's biggest weaknesses as well, not including rarities beyond legendary. I understand that there were technical constraints, I get that, but it doesn't change facts. So ultimately, the key to Borderlands 4's success lies in balancing both the story and the in-game content. A well-written story can create an emotional connection with the player, making them invested in the game world and the characters. At the same time, in-game content can provide players with a challenging and rewarding experience, ensuring that they keep playing the game for a long time to come. I mean, just look at Borderlands 2. People are still playing it to this day. Now, I know I'm guilty of being one of those people that doesn't really care about story generally, but I think I'm kind of lying to myself a little bit when I say that, because if a video game does story well, it absolutely resonates even with me. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, for example, it ran the gambit of emotions for me. I laughed, I raged, I even cried at the end. When a video game can tell a solid story without dragging out content, that is always a positive bonus. That said, I still feel like story is far less important than the gameplay and the replayability. For example, look at Minecraft. That is a game that has zero story, almost no in-game content, but the gameplay loop is just so much fun that people still play it to this day. Looking back at previous Borderlands games, we can see how both story and in-game content have played a significant role in the game's successes. Borderlands 2 had a well-written story with memorable characters, one of the greatest villains of all time, and its in-game content kept us engaged with challenging boss battles and loot drops. Borderlands 3, on the other hand, had much more in-game content overall, with takedowns, proving grounds, true trials, 3 repeatable slaughter maps, but its story was justly criticized for not being nearly as engaging as the previous games in the series. So in conclusion, both story and in-game content are equally important for Borderlands 4's success. I still put a little extra weight on the in-game activity myself, but you know, that's just how it is for me. A well-written story, like I said, can create an emotional connection with the player, while in-game content can provide a challenge and a rewarding experience. A good balance between the two will ensure that players are engaged with the game world, characters, and gameplay, and it'll keep them coming back to the game long after completing the main story. That's right, I said it. Story is important for Borderlands 4. Write it down. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe for more Borderlands content to come. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.